2015 by our former executive director at MoAD, Linda Harrison. And it really has provided us with the privilege of using the museum as a space to educate people and bring people together and build community around these issues that are so important, dealing with health, food, farming, and many of those issues related to that. So let me bring our guest in. Yes, thank you, Kaiser Permanente, for generously supporting the Chef in Residence program, coming from Elizabeth Gessel, our Director of Programs at the museum. Okay, not sure. Try this again. All the hip hop heads, y'all see
Hey.
Hey, what's up?
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing as well as one can in this chaotic world.
Right. Yeah.
I was representing for hip hop, Grandmaster Flash, with whom we wouldn't have all the amazing turntablism and scratches and all that, maybe, but it wouldn't be as dope as it is. So anyway, how are you?
I mean, yeah, like you were saying, as well as you possibly can be right now, just trying to balance somehow, find balance in all of this and kind of disconnect a bit and just pour into myself, as part of handling everything that's happening. So
yeah, rough week.
Was it rough? Very.
Personally, emotionally. So anyway,
yeah, it's just so overwhelming, and I feel like I don't know, it's getting to a breaking point for sure, and I can feel that energy with everyone. It's just getting to that point where we're fed up, and I don't know, the whole thing needs to just be completely dismantled and reconfigured because it's just insane.
Yeah, it is. Thank you so much for joining us again. I had to bring you back on because look, I'll let you know right now, two of your biggest fans, and I know you probably hear this a lot, but I'm telling you, two of your biggest fans live in the house with me now.
Oh.
My daughters are crazy about you and your book. Oh. Now, Lindsay's 6, so she is still learning to read, but she has been helping make your recipes, and my oldest, Mila, has been just devouring every word in this book. And do you see all those recipes she has marked? She's made 5 recipes already, and it means so much to me as a parent of 2 Black girls. I'm always, and my wife and I have always understood the importance of them seeing people, creative people, professionals, people just living their lives reflected in the media they consume, the books they read, and they are they're food snobs. Let me tell you something.
Have been you got you as a dad, of course.
But not because of me. I'll tell you where it comes from. It comes from them watching all these cooking shows, and now it's my wife and I can't even bring anything to the table without them deconstructing it. We're like, oh, damn, I guess I should go back to the drawing board. But all that to say is that it means so much to have a cookbook, a book that talks about just all the important work and issues that you've been focusing on, and seeing you on the cover. Look at you. Look at this beautiful person right here. So I don't know. Do you think about the power of representation and what it means for a young Black woman such as yourself to be on the cover of books and to be in the media talking about these issues that you care dearly about?
Absolutely. I think that for me, especially with the type of work that I do in the food space and the wellness space, it's so important for us to see ourselves as worthy of self-care and self-love and diving into food that nourishes us and brings us joy. Like, all of that is so important. And so, to have readers who are 8 years old and readers that are 50 years old and all the way in between, it's just so amazing and so humbling. I think that when I entered, the wellness space, I was really, really young, but I never saw, a Black woman or anybody like that at the forefront or, in the center of this conversation at all, let alone a young woman that I could look to, who's closer to my age than most. And so it's really special and just an honor for me to be able to do that and to kind of fill that gap a bit alongside so many amazing young Black women who are just killing it in this space of self-growth and activism. And, I get to feature a few of them in the book as well. So just to be able to do that is such an honor for me.
Yeah. So I will say that it was highly disappointing to have worked on this book for several years, to start this national tour, and then all of a sudden, no more tour, shelter in place. I'm at home and I'm doing all this promotion online. I'm wondering, if you had imagined your first solo book tour being a certain way, and then
yes.
yeah. Vision. What did you envision for yourself? And I'm wondering, not just what it means to, have that to pivot towards the kind of like virtual promotion and think about promotion other ways, but just how that's been as well, and what's that has looked like for you.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely for years had an idea of what I wanted my book tour to be like, and we were planning all of this as everything started to go crazy, and we were gonna have like pop-ups and interactive booths at fun like parties and events, and get to do panels like all across America, and to do so many cool like international events as well, and all of that just like one by one started going away and really just started kind of dissolving in front of me. And so as I just kind of had to come to this place of acceptance of like, this is what it is, I just need to move forward the best way that I can. I really wanted to find a way to just share the heart of the book. And I think in a lot of ways, I'm grateful for the way that all of this has really simplified the sharing the purpose of the book, if that makes sense, like with events and, fun activities and all those things, it kind of pulls away from really the core of it. And through this virtual experience of getting to have like one-on-one conversations with people like you or people from different sectors, it's been amazing to really talk about the multifaceted, aspects of the book and just really have that human connection, I guess, without all this like, I'm on a stage or I'm, on a panel or whatever. It's just really been able to connect on a really real level to talk about the book and all the themes that run through it. So I think it, worked out obviously as it should, because this is what happened, but I'm also grateful in a lot of ways, because I think the other version of what I had, I would have been so burnt out, and I don't even know if I would have been able to really be present in all that was happening. So I've been really intentional with every, opportunity to talk about the book and crafting, how I creatively share about it, and that's been really nice. So
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm grateful ultimately.
So just on the nuts and bolts tip, like, do you, and you don't have to share this if you don't want to pull back the curtain, but I know there are a lot of budding authors, people who are thinking about being in space, just sharing the work that they do publicly. Do you prepare talking points when you do conversations like this, or did you kind of like prepare talking points ahead of the tour, expecting to be able to hit things, or are you just kind of like allowing conversations to unfold organically? I'm wondering, like, what's your prep like, in general for these type of engagements that you've been having? How long has the book been out now?
It's been a month today, actually. Yeah.
Oh, see, it's our anniversary.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a really, really long time since I've kind of formally prepared for anything. Like, I mean, it's been like a decade of me doing this work, so it's really just me at this point. A lot of it I'm just so deeply embedded in. So, I just love kind of flowing with things. I don't really prepare like any talking points or anything. But also, I think when you write a book and you spend years like working on it, starting with a proposal and then the whole process, you know it inside and out. And so I feel like I just really know it and connect to it, so I can kind of let it flow and everything. But I find that that's just where I feel the most comfortable, is just in kind of speaking my truth as it comes up to me versus like programming my brain to put it out a certain way. But definitely in the beginning, when I was understanding this space and learning, I wanted to make sure that I like understood what I was talking about and was prepared and things like that. So it really just depends on the stage that you're at and your comfort in talking about certain things. But I think with experience, it's become kind of like second nature for me, which is so cool, because I definitely remember when I would have like super awkward cooking demos and like have silence for 3 minutes, just stirring or whatever it may be. So I'm happy that I'm at this place. Yeah.
Yeah, you do it well. And I think people need to hear that, because you are such a polished speaker, and it comes across, I mean, it's genuine. It's you have deep content knowledge. And I after your first conversation, we got a number of messages like, "Oh my gosh, she's so brilliant. What can I do to have my child be a carbon copy of her?" And I just feel like people need to know that, I mean, you're obviously just a brilliant person, and you know, the ability to talk so fluidly and organically about these issues comes from years of doing the work and years of just putting the labor in to get to this point. And I'm glad that you recognize that, because it ain't magic. It takes work.
Yeah, for sure. And I think even it's a big part of it is just kind of allowing myself to expand within the role that I'm playing and in the work that I'm doing. I think often we'll kind of try to model ourselves, our path, how we talk about things after, other activists or chefs or speakers or whatever. But I've really allowed myself to just kind of grow into me, I guess,
Yeah.
versus, any other examples. Like I'm always the person who, for instance, like with social media strategies and things like that, I just can't get behind it. I just need to be able to like post when I feel like it and, share as I wish. And, a lot of people throughout my journey would tell me like, as a speaker, like you need to just stand like super straight on the stage and like don't be overly animated with your hands or whatever. And I get sometimes it can be a little excessive, but I just thought like adding all these extra instructions for myself was really just making me overthink and not be in the present moment. And so it's been helpful to just really tune in and just be available in that moment and allow myself to just be, so it's definitely a process, but it's freeing at the same time.
I totally hear that. And I feel like, yeah, when you have like that general content knowledge, and then you just open yourself up to let spirit, universal energy, however you want to look at it, kind of go through, I feel like those things kind of converge. And that's where the magic is. I was talking to someone, I was coaching someone on a public, they were doing some public speaking, and they're fairly new. And I told them, I was like, the main thing is you just got to be like confident and comfortable. And if you mess up, as you know, like even when you're doing a cooking demo, when you make a mistake, laugh off and keep it going. Everybody's there with you. But when you get awkward and nervous and everything, that's when everybody else starts freaking out and you freak out more.
Yeah.
So
no, I love embracing the moments of like discomfort or if something goes wrong. Like the last in-person speech that I did, I was having like allergy issues and I was like, I know I'm gonna sneeze on this stage, so I just need to say it. So I just started the speech that way, like, listen, if I sneeze on the stage, like it's my worst fear, so just forgive me if this happens. And it just like softened the whole experience, not only for me but everyone as well. So it's nice to just lean into that, because we all are not these polished robots that can just spit out information perfectly and everything, and it's really beautiful when we can do that together.
Yeah. So before we talk a little bit more about the book, just in the spirit of further pulling the curtain back, give us a sense of like the time. So the book was published in 2020. Just give us a sense of timeline, like when the book was in the embryonic stage, when the book, when you submitted a proposal for the book, the process of writing it, shooting it. Just like I want the people to know how long it takes. Can you share with your timeline with us?
Yeah, well, I mean, based on what my publishers were telling me, mine was on an accelerated track, but I had started really thinking I wanted to write another book and really have it from my full perspective around like 2017. I had been like over the years just pulling notes together of like things that I was learning and just experiencing even beyond food, you know, in relation to all the other aspects of wellness and just my life and growing up and what was helpful and what was not helpful in terms of things or habits, mindsets that I was adopting. And so just working through that and noting it was really a process, maybe like 2016 through 2017. And then end of 2017, I just set the intention that I wanted to make it happen. I was like, I feel like I have a book in me. There's something that I want to say. I really want to bridge this gap between, you know, our spiritual, emotional, mental wellness and, you know, our physical wellness through food and just how that's all interconnected. So end of 2017, I like put it out there, put it out into the universe, and literally in January or February, I just happened to meet my book agent, and she is absolutely incredible. She's published like a ton of vegan authors, and so
Sally,
yes, Sally Eckes, yes, she is amazing and truly like the reason why all of this has happened. But yeah, getting to meet her like right after I put that out there was just confirmation that this was like definitely time. And then we worked all through 2018 on the proposal for about like 8 months. I was writing the proposal and taking like sample pictures and testing some recipes, pulling that together. And then by the end of that, it was like 50 pages of a proposal. So it was definitely a new thing.
Book.
Exactly. That's what I was like. It took me 8 months just to write that. And so working through that, it really helped me just know the ins and outs of it. I didn't have a name at that time, but I was just, you know, simmering on it. And eventually, at first, it was going to be called like Lively, just Lively. But eventually, we had talked through it and landed on Living Lively. But then I had to pitch the book, and that was maybe like a 2-month process. I got to go to New York City and have meetings with like all of the top publishers and some smaller houses as well. And that was so surreal. Getting to just be in that space. It's something that I've always dreamed of, even just outside of like wellness. I've always loved writing. So it was really so surreal, and just being able to really speak about the book from an authentic standpoint and have these, you know, amazing editors really affirm that this idea was unique and needed and all of that. It was amazing. And so after having the meetings, we did the auctioning, which was again surreal and crazy. And I actually remember my mom and my sister and I, we were at this vegan restaurant here in New York called Lagusta's Commissary, and it's fantastic. Yeah, you know that? Oh, awesome.
Vegan.
Yes, I love them.
Yeah.
And so we had just eaten there for like a brunch type of thing, and then my agent called and she was like, listen, HarperCollins is like all for this book. And I was just bawling in the car. I was so excited. And then from there, it was basically go time. So all of 2019, I spent finishing up the writing and doing food photos and recipe testing. And so it was definitely on that accelerated timeline. But literally every single month of 2019, I was working on the book. And that was stressful at times for sure, and I did not expect just the amount of work that went into it. I definitely took on a lot of it, especially wanting to do the photography myself and with my friend as well, and just trying to really have that like Gen Z energy in it, because everyone who produced the book is like under 21, which is so cool, and I was really excited about that. But I, you know, had a few mental breakdowns throughout the process, and just through that, it also helped me create even more content in the book that was helpful. So it was actually very interesting how it all played out and was so necessary. I just had this feeling it needed to come out in 2020. So now it's here, yeah.
And big up to Mama Thomas and Papa Thomas. We know that this would not without their support. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely not. No, they've been so amazing and supportive, and have just let me kind of figure out who I am and supported every step of the way, which is just so amazing. And I'm so grateful. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, I know that it's been a long week for everyone, so I'm not going to keep folks. But if you were to give me the synopsis, the elevator pitch, tell me what makes this book unique? Why should I buy this book? Not me, but say my 9-year-old daughter was looking for a book, what makes your book one that she should consider buying?
Absolutely.
Or
have... Well, the cool thing about the book is that we actually made it kind of like a size where you can carry it with you, and I like to think of it that way because it's something that I hope that in spirit you can also carry with you. It connects the dots between the joy and nourishment that we can bring to our bodies through plant-based foods that are delicious, fun, and creative, but also the ways that we can nourish ourselves and nurture the other areas in our lives that contribute to our overall well-being. So that includes 7 points of power in here that are our wellness, thoughts and mindset, relationships, education, creativity and community, world perspective, and one more. It's always like 7 of them. So we have, last one is, why am I blanking on it? It's social media and societal influences. So all of those things are included in this book because they all contribute to how we feel every day and how we operate and show up for ourselves and others. And so this book is really a fusion of all of those things, a sanctuary that I hope it can provide for readers to really dive into learning more about themselves and the world and how it's influenced them, and how we can really step into our power by being aware of the things that shape us and taking action in really actively being a part of that process of growing into who we wish to become and how we wish to serve the world and how we wish to serve ourselves as well through the recipes. So it's, I like to think of it as like a human 101 guide from a human who is just getting started and just learning the ropes. Yeah.
Nice. I love with the book, I strive for my books to do something that I think yours does well, is that it can live in multiple places. Obviously it's functional. It can live in the kitchen, and I can attest to, just how awesome the recipes are. But it's the type of book that could be on your nightstand. I mean, frankly, your coffee table. I feel like it's such a beautiful book, and I just love the images throughout. So I love that you provide us with like the many layers to kind of dig in where folks feel like they want to get, started. I think some people will come to it for the recipes, but my daughter actually started off making several recipes the day it arrived. She actually made 2. And the next day she made 2 more, and then, but she's just been reading it lately. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. I love that. And that's what I wanted it to be, is just something that felt very holistic, where you can just dive into it however you need at the time, and to really feel represented in it through your, human experience. Like, it captures all of that, I hope, and not just this one part of our lives, but our entire lives, and how beautiful it is to take care of that.
So for the people who are going to indie books or book sense as we're speaking, preparing to buy this book from an independent bookseller, what are your favorite recipes? Where should people start? Well, if you would encourage people to just dive in, where would you encourage people to go with it?
Yes. I love the Islander Lively Bowl. That is so delicious, with like smoky maple mushrooms and delicious pineapple salsa and cilantro aioli. That is so lovely, and it's just like a nice, vibrant bowl. For fall, I actually have already kind of jumped into my fall mindset. So I last weekend made the shortcut sweet potato pie boats, and that is delicious as well. I love that one because it's just an easy way to get that pie comfort and all the flavors. And then I would say another essential would be the oven fried mushrooms. Those are amazing. I love those, and they're so crispy and just comforting, and I'm a huge fan of all mushrooms, so getting to use my taki mushrooms in that one is amazing. So yeah, I think starting with those 3 would be fun, but honestly, just kind of follow the energy of it. We've got beautiful pictures in there, and so just explore it and have fun. That's really the energy behind all of them.
And so, besides your book, what are some other projects you're working on that the people can support? Can you direct us to where we might want to, look in terms of the issues that, maybe it's a project you're working on, or maybe it's an issue that you care about dearly that you want to bring to light or direct us to?
Yeah, I mean, other than the book, I do have a nonprofit, Happy, and you spoke about it a little bit earlier, stands for Healthy, Active, Positive, Purposeful Youth. And we've been really trying to find ways to show up, virtually for students, because our work is based in schools. Usually we do plant-based nutrition and culinary education, but also have been expanding out into self-care education. So we had a self-care summer camp over the summer that was so much fun. We had students from all around the world actually join us, and every single day we talked about things like affirmations and creating emotion potions to deal with any stress or anxiety at this time, and doing journaling of gratitude lists, all of that. And that was so much fun. And so right now we're just
do a winter camp like that. I'm trying to get
yeah, so we are really trying to develop tools and programs that can be there for students throughout all of this, and just for young people in general. So there are updates coming soon about more things that we'll be doing and ways we'll be supporting the community that way. But we are also working on a more permanent structure called the Happy Academy, which is essentially an online wellness learning center for young people to learn about food and self-care and how to step into their purpose. And it's been a long time coming. It's a big endeavor building out this online platform, but we're super excited for that to hopefully release soon. And that's something that we always appreciate support for. So yeah, we've got lots going on our end for sure.
And before we leave, can you tell us where can people find you? Website, social media, all that. Where can the people go?
Yes, so for me, I'm just at Haile Thomas, Haile with no Y, like the typical spelling with no Y. And then my website is HaileV, like Victor, Thomas.com. And for the nonprofit, it's at The Happy Org. And our website is thehappyorg.org. And you can get Living Lively anywhere books are sold. And that's a sentence that still doesn't feel like real, but yes, anywhere books are sold, you can get Living Lively and support your independent booksellers as well.
No doubt. Haile, thank you so much for joining us again. We at MoAD are so proud of you, so excited for all that the future will bring. And we will continue to promote you, your book, and whatever projects you have in the future. So
thank you. I appreciate it so much. It's always such a joy and surreal as well just to talk with you, because I've been obsessed with your work and so just inspired by it for years. So I'm so grateful and can't wait till we can meet in person and I can say hi to your daughters and all that good stuff.
yes. Okay, you're right. I mentioned it before, but I just want to reiterate, when things get to normal again, after the post-apocalypse,
yeah,
open again.
yes.
We're going to host you, and we're going to do a blowout event and have some amazing folks who are here, who I think are on a similar path, and it's going to be fun. We're going to make that happen.
Yes. It's going to be amazing. I feel like after all of this, everyone's just going to live life to the absolute fullest, and I cannot wait for it. I hope that we'll all be able to just thrive and do our thing and exist in systems that don't oppress us, and our creativity and our life force, all of that. So